welcome to the Geeky Girls Knit Podcast. I'm Cece, also known as Java Pearl.
I'm Damaris, also known as Damaris Dash, a bit weird.
And we're glad to have you today. I forgot how we started the podcast for a second there. Oops. We haven't been busy at all. We'll tell you all about that in Yummies. Today is Wednesday, July the 17th, 2013, and this is episode 47. Coming up on our 1-year anniversary, podiversary, at the end of August. And we'll be in Scotland for it. How exciting is that? Okay. We want to say a big welcome back to all of our returning viewers and a big hello to any new viewers. Thanks for joining us today. Hope you enjoy the podcast, and we're glad to have you. We have one member who joined our Ravelry group and introduced herself this week in our introductions thread. And if you do that, we give you a shout out on the podcast. So do you want to give a shout out? I think I just said a bad word. A shout out? I didn't mean to say a bad word, I promise. Do you want to give a shout out to our new person?
Yeah, they are Knickerjack, who is Nick, who's just outside London in Essex.
Yes, so welcome. She has been participating in the Geeky Girls Knit Crafty Photo a Day Challenge. And, in fact, if I remember correctly, she has at least one photo this week in our top pictures. Maybe more than one. So, welcome. If you have not joined our Ravelry group yet, well, why not? Come on, come join. And once you do that, introduce yourself in the introductions thread. Or if you're already a member and have never introduced yourself, introduce yourself and we'll say hello to you in the next episode. Alright, we have a lot to talk about, so we better get started.
Now we're going to talk about what is on our needles.
So what's on your needles, Mare?
I have 2 things on my needles.
2?
No, 5.
That would be me. No, actually, I only have 4. So why have 1 project when you can have 4? Okay, so tell us what is on your needles.
Okay, I have started on the body of my Watson sweater based off the Dr. Watson's Cabled Crewneck pattern by Trudy Brown.
That looks really pretty. Do you want me to hold one end of it? Sure. Shall we go closer so they can see?
Sure.
Is that all of the ribbing?
Yes. And the setup row.
And the setup row, okay. And what yarn are we using?
Barocco Vintage in the Oats colorway.
Alrighty, and you've changed needles, right?
Yes, to size US 4s.
3.5 millimeters, but the ribbing was on US 3s, 3.25 millimeters. But then that got set aside because she started another project. What are you knitting? It's twisted. Should we show them the yarn first?
Sure.
Okay, so this is, that's a pretty true color right there. This is Vanna's Choice in the charcoal print colorway. And she's on US 8 5.0 millimeters. Sorry, I just dropped her yarn in the floor. Oops. It's cephalopod legs! How many are there?
8.
Show them. I love the view from the bottom of it. It's so cute. Oh, it's adorable. So, are you into the knitting only section?
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting close to being done. So what do you think of the pattern?
I like it.
This is the Dandy Sir Cephalopod pattern by Susan Claudino. But you're going to do something special with it, but are you going to wait to tell them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm
but
hoping I'll have it finished by next week.
Yeah, I'm thinking you probably will, because the knitted part goes really fast, and then you just have the decreases. So you've gotten through the hardest part, which is doing all the individual legs and then attaching them to the body. So great job. All right, I have 4 projects on the needles. I know. I know. So last night I cast on for me, so I have barely started this actually. You'll remember we showed a few weeks ago that I had done a drizzle hat for Damaris, and it's the drizzle pattern by Melski from the Single-Handed Knits podcast. For some reason it didn't sound right. And I'm using the same yarn as I did for hers. This is Barocco Geode in the Moss Agate colorway. I think that's how you say it. This is yarn that I won from Diane of the Knittables podcast. So I really have barely started. I've just done a few rows. And I'm doing mine on US 5, 3.75 millimeters. So I just cast that on last night. Now, my other 3 projects are all from the same pattern, which I know is kind of strange, but let me explain. So, one of my favorite designers, Lee Meredith, who is also known by Lethal, is doing an adventure knit-along. And it officially started this past Friday. That's when we got clue 1. There's 3 clues. And we got them first one last Friday, the next one this Friday, and then the last one the following Friday. However, this is like those choose your own adventure books from when I was a kid. And there are 4 possible projects you can do. There was 3 ways you could cast on. And for this first clue, there was 4 pattern possibilities. Stitch pattern possibilities. So, being the insane person I am, because, you know, we're not, like, moving across the world anytime soon, you know, so, of course I should cast on 3 of the 4 projects. I know. So, the first one that I'm doing is the gold route. Now, this is the one project that we know the least about. I was going to say littlest, but that's not a word, is it? Anyway, the least about. We know that it is a non-wearable accessory gift item. Let me get to it. It's in the bottom of the bag here. And I am doing it on, I'm like all connected here. Here we go. I am doing it with more yarn that I won from Diane of the Knittables. And Damaris was actually going to use this yarn for a cephalopod, but then she found this other and decided to use it instead. So this is Cormo fingering yarn in the gray colorway. And I'm doing it on US 4s, 3.5 millimeters. And the stitch pattern I chose for this, I actually didn't even write it down, and I should have. Let me click over here to my Ravelry page. This is the gold route. Let's see, the gold route, I chose to do the bristlecone pine pattern. And I did a provisional cast on, and you join it in the round at the end. So this is project number 1 of 3. Project number 2 of 3 is the orange trail. Now, what we know about the orange trail is that it is something for your head. A hat, I would assume. So I am using some leftover yarn from actually another Lethal Mystery Knit-Along that I did last year. I am using Crystal Palace Yarns Panda Superwash in the Bittersweet colorway, which is like a chocolate brown. And I'm using Knit 1 Crochet 2 Crocodile in the Candy colorway, which is a pinks. And I'm on US 3s, 3.25 millimeters, and this is the Birch Trees pattern. This is by far my favorite. It's like stripes. And you had to knit until it fit around your head. So I'm assuming this is like the brim of a hat. I'm absolutely in love with this. And again, I did a provisional cast on and then joined it when I got done. The third, because 2 is not enough. So the third one is the green byway. And it is an item, actually a pair of items, for your hands. So I'm hoping fingerless gloves, but gloves, something in that vein. So I chose to use more yarn that I won from Diane of the Knittables podcast. Diane, thank you. I didn't have to buy yarn for this. This is the Farmhouse Yarns Fanny's Fingering Weight yarn in the clay colorway, and I'm on US 1.5's 2.5 millimeter, and I did the giant redwood pattern. So these are both, this was supposed to fit on your wrist. And you can't see it very well that way. Let me take it off and hold it up. So I've done 2 of them, so I have the pair. And again, this was a provisional cast on that I chose and then joined them. So I have both of those going. So I was wondering if I was going to get all of that accomplished before we got the next clue on Friday. But I finished last night, which is when I then cast on for my drizzle hat, because I had finished. So we will get the next clue on Friday, and I will knit away again on those 3 projects. So I'm hoping to have them all done by around the 1st of August, because we get the final clue on the 26th of July. So we will see. It depends on how much knitting there is for the final clue. So, we'll see. And that is everything that is on my needles, which was a lot. So, let's move on to the next segment.
Now we're going to talk about her finished projects.
Yeah, I have 2. Okay, so remember, this is the same pattern that Damaris is currently working on, like right this very second, actually. She's knitting it. This is the Dandy Surf Cephalopod pattern by Susan Claudino, and remember, well, if you haven't watched this before, you wouldn't know, but I am making these for my niece and nephew and the new baby, which we don't know if it's boy or girl yet, that is due around Christmas time. So, previously I had finished this one for my niece Lola, and this one for my nephew Wyatt. That way. And this week I finished in the SMC Bravo Rainbow Color yarn in the Circus colorway on US 2's 2.75 millimeters. This little tiny cephalopod for the new baby. So you'll notice it does not have a mustache because that's a choking hazard, and it does not have the regular eyes. I just stitched little eyes on it. And I chose this yarn because it would work for a boy or girl. It's got blues and oranges and greens and pinks and purples. And so I figured it would work for whatever. So all 3 cephalopods are now done. It's like a cephalopod snowman. And I love that pattern. It's amazing. The other thing I finished, my stripy everyday socks. These are based on the Hermione's Everyday Sock pattern by Erica Luder. And this, like, podcast episode should be, like, brought to us by Diane of Knittables. Because the yarn I used was more that I had won from Diane, which is Brown Sheep Wildfoot Luxury Sock Yarn in the Lilac Desert and Little Lilac colorways. I knit these on US 1s, 2.25 millimeters. And what I actually did was used my regular toe-up pattern that I use, but put the stitch pattern from the Hermione's Everyday Socks in. So, they are done! I love them. What do you think, Mare?
I like them.
Do you?
Yes.
Good, because they're for you. Surprise!
I was not expecting this.
Daddy even knew, and he was like gonna tell you, and I was like, "Don't you dare tell her! I'm gonna surprise her on the podcast."
I was not expecting this.
Surprised!
Yes, because I was jealous when you were knitting them. I was just like, they're Bruce Banner colors.
Yes, she's been telling me the whole time I've been knitting them, because I've been working on them on and off for about a little over a month. And she's been like, they're Bruce Banner colors. I need them. Because she thinks like she's the female Bruce Banner. So I thought I would surprise her. So, surprise!
Were they originally gonna be for you?
I thought about it, but as I started knitting a little more, I don't wear those colors really very much, and I have another purple pair of socks.
They're comfy looking.
And so I thought you would enjoy them and wear them. So surprise.
Thank you.
Surprise! You can't have the sock blockers, though.
I don't want the sock
They're
blockers.
mine. So, I really love how they turned out. I really do. I think that because I was using 2 yarns and striping them myself. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. So, there you go. Enjoy.
Thank you.
All right, on to the next segment. And now it's time for my favorite part of the show. Yummies! Yummies are where we talk about our current favorite things, or good things that happened this week, or things we want to share with you, or things that make us happy, or yummy.
So, like 2 minutes ago, my mama gave me these pretty socks and I want to show them to you.
Wow, I've never seen them before. Do they fit good?
Yes.
That's good. She and I wear
You know they fit good because you were looking when I put them on.
She and I wear the same size shoe.
Sort of. Close enough.
Yeah, well, hers is like maybe a quarter of a size smaller than mine. She has a lot of my shoes.
I stole them.
Yes, she did. It's okay. Yummy! So, last week on the podcast, I released my new pattern set, Lola's Zigga-Zagga scarf and fingerless gloves. Here's the scarf. It is way too warm to put it on.
It was raining just a bit ago,
And
but
here-
then it stopped.
Yeah, it did. And here are the fingerless gloves. Thank you to everyone who has bought the pattern. The coupon code for the viewers continues until next Wednesday, July 24th, 2013 at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm not sure what's happening over here, but I'm just going to keep talking.
It came undone from
Oh.
the outside.
Oh, okay. So that coupon code is on the screen. Do you see it?
Or maybe it's down here.
It might be down here. It might be up here.
It might be on my face.
It could be like right here between us. Somewhere on the screen. That coupon code will get you $1 off through next Wednesday. So, thank you. Enjoy. I'm still doing the stash dash.
But she's almost done.
That's right, with the Knit Girls podcast. So the goal was to knit, crochet, weave, or spin 4,375 yards between, I don't know when it started, I can't remember, but the end date I think is August 5th. And as of finishing the socks and the cephalopod. I am at 4,158 yards. That means I have 217 yards to go. And that 217 yards to go, I have not included in yet the 3 lethal projects for the adventure knit along or the drizzle hat yarn.
She's gonna be way over.
So I'm gonna be way over.
She should get some sort of prize.
Ta-da!
She's gonna be way, way over.
Yes. So we've been doing some summer TV movie watching. So we watched some
movie?
TV/movie watching.
We've been watching some TV movies.
No, we have not watched any TV movies. There was a really bad one I hear on last week. Really, bad acting. Bad. We didn't watch it. It involved a shark and a tornado.
Multiple sharks.
Oh, yeah.
In a tornado.
So, what movie did we watch this week, Damaris?
Remember
it had your favorite guy in it.
He's not my favorite.
Well, he's not your favorite.
He's one of my favorite guys.
What was it?
The Soloist.
The Soloist, and who's in it?
Robert Downey Jr.
So, it was really interesting. It was based on a true story about a musician who is homeless and has some mental issues, and this newspaper reporter who was Robert Downey Jr. and who told his story, and they became friends and all this. So it was really a pretty good movie. We enjoyed it. The music was beautiful. So, we are still watching
Granada's The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. We have 5 episodes left.
We realistically could finish that tonight. Potentially. Because they're about 40 minutes apiece?
50.
50 minutes apiece. It is almost 3 p.m. We realistically could finish it because the Hubs is working the closing shift tonight. So, we realistically could finish it. Is your phone ringing?
Yes.
Okay.
It'll stop.
I was like, my phone's not ringing. It's sitting right here.
It's how do you say that word again?
Ethereal?
Yes, it's ethereal vibrating.
Oh, gotcha.
It's an ethereal phone.
So, hopefully we will finish Granada, The Adventure of Sherlock Holmes, if not tonight, probably tomorrow. Yeah. I finished watching Covert Affairs Season 3, and I watched the season premiere of Covert Affairs Season 4 last night. It was really on TV last night. Although I DVR'd it and then watched it. But I got distracted doing some other things. Like working on show notes. And so I missed some things, so I'm going to have to rewatch it. But at least I can fast forward through the commercials. So, I am watching Agatha Christie's Marple.
And we've been recognizing everybody. Well, I've been recognizing everybody.
Would you like to know who was in it last night? After you went to bed?
Who was in it last night? David Tennant?
No. Timothy Dalton and Carey Mulligan. And they got married.
What?
And I was like, I told the Hubs, I was like, oh, that's the girl that Damaris likes her hair, or that she likes to get her hair cut like her.
Yes. I've been getting my haircut styled after Carey Mulligan's.
So,
And Timothy Dalton, as you probably know, is a former 007.
Yes, but he was also in Doctor Who.
As Lord President Rassilon.
Yes.
In both parts of The End of Time.
Yes. So.
Everyone in Doctor Who is...
There's been so many Doctor Who characters in Marple. It has cracked me up.
Catherine Tate.
Yes.
That guy who played Elton.
Yes.
In Monsters. The lady who played Nancy from The Empty Child.
Empty Child. Yeah.
Dances. The lady who played Miss Evangelista.
There's also been at least 2 of the nuns from Call the Midwife in it.
Oh, Mark Gatiss was in it.
Mark Gatiss just got, it was just announced he's going to be in Season 4 of Game of Thrones.
I saw.
We don't watch that, but I thought it was interesting. I was like...
Lots of people watch that. We don't watch
it, but I thought it was interesting.
Yes.
So, so I am ready to start, I believe, Series 3 of Marple. I think I finished Series 2 last because there's only 4 episodes per series. Because they're TV movie length. So, I think I'm ready to start Series 3. And we are also doing the grand rewatching
of all 7 series of Doctor Who before the 50th anniversary in November. And, let's see, where were we last time? We finished all the 2009 specials.
Yes.
And we got through Series 5. And we watched the first 2 episodes of Series 6 last night.
Oh my gosh, I forgot. I guess I've only seen Series 6 once, maybe twice. And so this is like all again kind of new. And I remember, but I'm like, oh my gosh. And and I love River Song. She's my new BFF. The Hubs and the Maris just don't understand. She and I would be BFFs. I love River Song. She's so funny. She cracks me up. So yeah, we have like been speeding through it, but we found some other things that we're gonna watch after we finish, because we probably are going to finish in the next week or so, since there's just not that much on TV in the summer. So, all right, well, I guess it's not technically Instagram, although most of the pictures are posted on Instagram. The Geeky Girls Knit Crafty Photo a Day, aka hashtag GGK Crafty Pad, is going on still. And I'm loving seeing all the pictures. There's been some amazing ones. So people are posting them on Instagram and Ravelry and Twitter and Facebook and Plurk, and I think that's all I know of. The majority of them are on Ravelry and Instagram. So Damaris and I picked out our favorite 2 for each day's prompt. And so we're going to stop right here and do a little montage. Here we go. Weren't those great photos? Way to go, everybody. High five. I high-fived them.
You just put your hand in their face.
No, I was high-fiving them because they are holding their hand up to the computer too. And giving me a high five back.
What you did.
I'm loving seeing all the pictures. They're amazing. So, if you haven't joined in, it's not too late. And I think this is just so much fun that we're just going to keep doing it. So, if you have ideas for prompts for next month, some of them we'll probably recycle and use again because, you know, like a current WIP, a current work in progress, is going to be different a month later, most likely. So, we probably will recycle some of them, but I would love to throw in some new ones. I have a fun idea for prompts that will work for February, but February's a little ways away.
Yeah.
So, we got to get through all these other months first. All right, people. Scotland! So much has happened since we talked to you last week. So, Thursday,
Things happened.
And I screamed, didn't I?
Yeah.
She was like sitting over at the desk and I was sitting in my recliner. I was like, oh my gosh! Probably even louder than that. And she's like, what? We got the email. Actually, 3 emails
that got the 3 emails.
That our visas had been approved. I didn't bring them over here. So we received them on Friday. We didn't expect to get them till like Monday, but we actually received them on Friday. That kind of freaked us out a little bit because we had paid, well, we had to put in a prepaid self-addressed envelope thing in when we mailed everything in. I'm talking a lot with my hands. Maybe I should sit on them. I'm sorry. So to get a tracking number on it, we had to do express mail. So now my hands are like talking down here below the camera. So we had put this, I can't talk because I'm not moving my hands. We had put the thing in, and it had an express mail prepaid thing. So it was supposed to be overnight, but I didn't know if they were going to get them sent out on Thursday or if it would be Friday or what. And then we would receive them Monday because it's the weekend, but we got them on Friday. So the Hubs brings them home, and it was like just a flat rate envelope is what we had done. And I was like, this feels really flimsy. We knew that our 3 passports were coming back with it because we had to send those to do the visas. And so I opened the envelope, and all I see in the envelope is our 3 passports. And I'm like, yeah, where are our visas? Well, come to find out, they put them inside your passport. It's like this sticker that's about the size of the page of your passport, and it's got like your photograph on it, and then all the details, all the numbers and your name and all the details and the restrictions and what kind of visa and all this stuff. So those are in a page of each of our 3 passports. So now, once we had those in hand, that meant we could buy plane tickets because we knew when we could travel. We weren't sure if they were going to put on it. When we filled out the applications, we said that we were expecting to travel around September 1st. However, by law, you're allowed to travel 30 days prior to when school starts, and that's actually the date they put on the visas. So we could have traveled as early as August 9th. I think that's right. However, our apartment in Edinburgh is not available to us until August 19th. So after we got the visas, I went back to my things where we had been checking plane tickets, prices and stuff. And, sorry, I have to have a drink. Water. I'm talking a lot. The tickets for the week of like the 19th were almost $200 more a piece than if we waited until a week later, the week of the 25th. So we narrowed it down to, and then we looked at the week after that as well, like, so that would have been like September 2nd, and they were within like $10 of the previous week. So we were like, okay, let's try to travel the week of August 25th then. So we narrowed it down to 2 flights. We had thought we were going to fly through Canada. However, it was going to mean a 24 hour layover in the airport. And the tickets were only about $10 to $20 cheaper a piece. That was not worth it. So we are flying through Newark, New Jersey. So we narrowed it down to 2 sets of tickets. One set flying on Sunday the 25th of August and arriving on Monday the 26th, or the other set flying on Monday the 26th and arriving on Tuesday the 27th. They were less than $100 total for the 3 of us, difference in price. So it wasn't that much. The major differences, there were some pros and cons both ways. For the Sunday tickets, we were going to have to be there super, super early to fly. However, we had a good chunk of layover in New Jersey, which was positive because we'll be traveling with, I'll be with my wheelchair, and we haven't flown in several years. And so when I flew before, I wasn't in a wheelchair. So we didn't know if they would take me off the plane first or if I would be one of the last to get off the plane. So having that chunk of layover is positive. It's about an 8-hour layover in New Jersey. The Monday tickets didn't fly until closer to lunchtime, but there was only a 1-hour layover in New Jersey until we flew to Edinburgh. And so if there was any complications at all, if there was any delays or whatever, we would have missed the flight, potentially. And that really kind of worried us, because the next flight that we think would have worked would have been like 24 hours later. And so that was kind of too chancy for us. So we bought the tickets that we are going to fly on Sunday the 25th of August. So we will leave from the Dallas-Fort Worth airport on Sunday the 25th of August, just before 7 o'clock in the morning, which means leaving very early, because we'll be staying with the Hubs family, and they live a little over an hour away from the airport. So we'll be leaving around 3 a.m. to go to the airport. We'll arrive in New Jersey just before lunchtime, their time. There's an hour time difference from where we currently are. And then we will leave New Jersey for Edinburgh just before 8 p.m. and arrive in Edinburgh just before 8 a.m. on Monday the 26th. So, I have this fun app on my Kindle, and it tells us exactly how long until we leave. So 38 days, 15 hours, 54 minutes. Or, if you want to be very precise, 3,340,432 seconds. So, also with this, the Hubs was able to put in notice at work. 30 days, 1.5 hours, approximately, until his last day of work. Because what we have decided to do is, his last day of work is going to be Friday the 16th of August. That date feels right. I believe so. Friday. I'm clicking over here to the calendar. Yes, Friday the 16th of August. We will have a garage sale here in the town we live in Texas on the 17th, the Saturday. To sell the stuff we have left. We have some stuff that we needed between the time of our last garage sale until we move. So we'll do that on the 17th, and then the plan is to leave on Sunday the 18th to go see my family, and then spend a few days with them, and then drive to the Hubs family and stay with them until we leave for the airport on Sunday the 25th. So, we have gotten things all arranged. There's a lot of relief, because there was just a bunch of stuff we couldn't do until we had those visas in hand. We have made some contact with some people that are in Edinburgh, and are trying to work out some details of that they've offered to help us, potentially picking us up at the airport. It depends on if the three of us and our luggage can fit in their vehicle. We've got to iron out those details. If not, they're going to help us arrange to get to our apartment. And just some other connections like that. So, the countdown is on. 39 days. We have a wall calendar over here on the wall, and I wrote it on there. It's on our calendar on Google. The Hubs has it on his phone. We're all very excited. Today was the first day into the 30s. So, are we excited?
No.
How do you feel about all this now that I've rambled on for quite a few minutes about our move?
I like it.
Do you like it a lot?
Yes.
So, we have some stuff to get done still around the house here. Prepping to move. There's a lot that can't be done till right before we leave. You know, there's stuff that you need until you leave. So, but there are some things that we have a list. The Hubs has a honey-do list of some stuff that we're trying to get done. So hopefully we'll get another chunk of that done this weekend. We did quite a bit last weekend. We had some donations to drop off, like old eyeglasses. We had old laptop that the screen was burned out on that needed to be recycled. That's looking cute. Some things like that. So, I'm so excited. So about 39 days until we leave for Scotland, and we're very, very excited. Fundraiser is still going on. Here's the link. Thank you to everyone who has donated so far, and we'll be choosing, doing the drawings for prizes. I can't remember exactly what date that's on. I'll have to look it up. But in the next few weeks, probably, I think it's in the next, like, maybe 3 weeks-ish. So, if you're interested in donating, we'd appreciate it, and we thank you very much for everybody who is supporting us and helping us out with this. So, I think I've rambled on about Scotland a lot, so I think we're ready for the next segment.
Now we're going to talk about what books we're reading and what TV we're watching.
So what are we reading?
We both finished The Marvelous Land of Oz, and now we're reading Ozma of Oz, both by L. Frank Baum.
Yeah. So we're reading the 14 books that L. Frank Baum wrote in order. We got a great Kindle deal on them a while back. So we're into the third book. I actually just finished the second book last night and am ready to start the third book. So I'm enjoying it so far. I mean, I had read the first one before, but I didn't realize there was all this other. So it's been fun. We have only one TV show to talk about. And Damaris didn't watch it with me even, so I'm going to talk about it. Continuum, episode 2.6, Second Truths. So this was kind of a... I can't think of the word I want. A breaking point, almost. That's still not the word I want. You know what I'm trying to say? Because Kira finally told Carlos that she's a time traveler from the future. So the truth is out there. Yes, X-Files. No. So how this kind of all came about, Kira... Well, yeah, that's how it came about. There was a serial killer killing people, as serial killers do. And Kira knew about the case from the future. It had never been solved. And Carlos has become more and more suspicious about Kira's hunches and figuring things out. And she tells Carlos the truth, and he doesn't believe her. That's right, he could not handle it at first. And so she went out on her own to catch the accomplice because they had captured one of the killers. It turned out to be a duo of serial killers working together. And so this accomplice took her captive, and she tricks the guy into using her weapon, and it shocks him because he was an unauthorized user. And so she's all tied up, and because he was about to do yucky things to her, like cut her eyelids. I know, gross. And Carlos realizes via Sherlock Holmes. Because what is the quote?
Once you've eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must in fact be the truth.
And he actually quoted it in the episode. That either Kira was working with the serial killers or she was a time traveler. And
So
obviously she has to be a time traveler. And he comes in to rescue her and sees her weapon, like, transform itself from him with the screen popped out back into a normal weapon. and that kind of is like the final truth. And so as the episode's ending, they're like talking, and she's telling him the whole story. And so I'm really excited to see the next episode this Friday, to kind of see how he reacts to finally having this knowledge. The other things that happened kind of in the episode that were kind of important was Dylan, who was like the police chief head guy that got the boot, contacted Kira and like connected her with this businessman, Mr. Escher, and Kellogg is trying to get this other guy who has this technology that's real important in the future to work with him, and Escher steals the guy away. So there's some connections there that are happening. And then there's something going on with this girl, Emily, that Alec has started dating. He takes her to the lab, which was a big no-no, and Kellogg gets mad and kicks her out. And then after she leaves, she's on the phone, and she calls someone. She says, "I'm in." So I'm betting she works for Liberate. That's my guess. Next episode is episode 2.6, Second Degree, on Friday the 19th. And that's all that we've been reading and watching, other than all the stuff we told you we were watching in the Yummies segment. Do you have a mustache? A cephalopod mustache?
No.
Oh, what a beautiful hat. On to the next segment. All right, the July Hip-to-Be Square. Knit Along is still going on. And so if you have not knitted your square project,
Do that.
do that and post it and share it to be eligible to win a prize. So we have some people who have finished projects and shared the photos with us this week. Why don't you tell us who they are, Mare?
Angie Ann, who's Angie, finished her all washed up washcloth. Linda M. Noble, who's Linda, finished the Queen's washcloth. And Stitching Out Loud, who's Kat, finished her tiny sock grannies.
Granny squares. Way to go. So, you still have 2 weeks from today to finish your squares. So, get to knitting or crocheting or weaving. On to the next segment. And that's about it for episode 47 of Geeky Girls Knit. We have a few announcements. You want to start?
We still have these buttons.
If you want one, here's how to contact us. Somewhere on the screen. Do you see it?
It might be there. It might be there. It might be over here.
No, probably not over there. It's
here.
probably either here or
maybe
here,
it's here.
or it could be there. I don't know. We'll see. The 200 member giveaway is getting close. We're in the 180s somewhere.
The 180s.
Yeah, somewhere in the 180s. So, if you haven't joined our Ravelry group, come join, because how do you get to be eligible to win in the 200 member giveaway?
You be in our group.
So come be in our group, okay? Okay. We have a VK in this Friday. Friday, July the 19th at 6 p.m. Central Time. Check here on Ravelry, Twitter, Facebook, Plurk for the link. And then the next one will be on Friday, August the 2nd at 1 p.m. Central. And that will be the last VKN until after we get moved and settled in Scotland. And then we will reassess and figure out times and days and what will work best for us with our new schedule and time zone and everything. So, this Friday the 19th, 6 p.m. Central. And then Friday, August 2nd at 1 p.m. Central. And then that's it until sometime in September, most likely. Because we move on the 25th. Yeah, probably sometime in September. Alright, where can they find us?
You can find us at geekygirlsknit.blogspot.com. There are links to where we are at. Blip, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, iTunes, Plurk, Instagram, Ravelry, etc.
Etc. So come join us. We love visiting with you. And we are so thankful for each of you. Y'all are wonderful viewers, and we love talking with you each week, and I don't think our week would be the same without recording We have a bird in our window now. Oh, it just flew away. I can't imagine not recording now. So we're gonna have to figure out recording while we're traveling. We may take a week or two off, or we may just do a short little mini episodes. We'll just have to see as we adjust from jet lag and everything. So we will let you know. We'll keep you updated. You know how to find us. All right. So with that, we will bid you adieu, and we'll see you next week. Happy knitting.